city bound. Maybe I'll be when I go down city bound. Just city, yeah, watching the days. There am alive, yeah, wandered on by. Moving down the road, the days
What are you doing, Ballarat? I mean, it's the first day of winter. We're filming this currently now, the first day of winter. We've got 3 or 4. We've already gone through 2 months of pretty cold business, and basically, if you're not with your mates in the lounge room or in the garage or in the pub playing or rehearsing, there's a lot of people think there's not really that much point in living in such a place. Yeah. It's so cold and so depressing. With the cold also comes depression. And music's just a great way of warming people from the inside and making them feel good about themselves and creatively expressing themselves, all those sort of things.
I was here just before I knew of bands like Nirvana and Jane's Addiction and Red Hot Chili Peppers and Pearl Jam. We started playing before those bands became big and known to us. And when that explosion happened in the early 90s, it was really inspiring. I thought that whatever was happening globally was happening in Ballarat. There was a lot of, I used to be in school and there'd be 5 people in a band. After that explosion, there were more kids in bands than not. So I thought it was a global thing that just made its way to Ballarat, and more bands started and got inspired by that movement of those particular bands, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so the scene's been incredibly healthy since then. But like everything, it goes through waves. But I'd have to say the last 3 or 4 years have been exceptional to be a punter.
Yeah.
I still think that it's a storytelling town, even if it's a punk band or a 7-piece band. There's still the need for people to tell stories, and I reckon Ballarat music scene, whatever style of music, people need to express themselves and tell stories. So I can't put a style to it, but it's just a desire to have your story told, I reckon. I still think they think it's still a bit of a country town, which I never really see it as. Yeah. I wonder if people still do perceive that, but it's like the boys from Ballarat or the girls from Ballarat, it's just like that stigma, which can be quite good to use actually. If you go to Sydney and you say you're from Ballarat, they'll probably like you more than if you said you're from Melbourne, because you have a small town vibe around you which makes you feel like a bit of an underdog.
Is it yours? Is it yours? Well, usually John, and usually John. Ask God, who's in control now? Oh, fucking God! Yeah! What do you want me to say to God? What do you want me to say to God? What do you want me to say to God? What do you want me? Alright.
Obviously, Ballarat is a fairly large university town. I think that's always been attributed to, why do bands and the music scene go so well in Ballarat? Oh, it must be because of the uni. Well, I'm not sure that a great deal of it is to do with the uni. I think maybe a lot around the edges and around the fringes of things. The university's always there, and there's always university students in Ballarat. But I think it's more. I think the true music punters in Ballarat come more from the high schools, the high school system in Ballarat. They grow up, they turn 18, they're aware of, you know, a fairly diverse and strong independent music scene in Ballarat, and they want to come and see it. And, you know, thanks to all ages gigs that have been organised, from everyone from Funship to Freezer to Damascus College, stuff that's been organised. It's been a great way of exposing, you know, kids who are 15, 16 and 17, exposing them to the independent music scene and the acts that are involved in it.
You told me how it works, you change your mind, you better watch yourself. My head is all that hurts.
I mean, there's one thing about Ballarat music is that there has never been a Ballarat sound, and there's never been sort of 15 bands that all sound the same. It's just this. I think it's incredibly daggy to sound like another Ballarat band. Number one, I think a lot of bands also perceive that it's incredibly daggy to sound like your favourite famous Australian or American or English act. Do you know what I mean? I think that's part of the. Sure, there's influences that people pull from left, right, and centre from various acts, but I think the fact that it's incredibly diverse and that, you know, everything from funk to rock to acoustic stuff to pop to grunge to hip hop is sort of happening here.
It's mainly changing with the amount of things bands release. Like, it used to be just so rare that you'd get any Ballarat product, and now every second band's launching a CD every 3-4 weeks or whatever. And that's the major change. Like, I remember it was like we just hung out for when the Mavises released their first singles. Salesman's first tape was such a huge deal, whereas now, you know, you guys have knocked out a few singles this year. You know, Jonah releasing a CD in the weekend. You know what I mean? All that sort of stuff. The release things changed a lot, and people's professionalism's lifted a lot. It used to be pretty disorganised. You just sort of rolled down here. There was vocal PA. You played on the carpet.
Yeah.
You know, drunks would wander through. You know, it was pretty hairy, but you know, it's alright. It's got a lot better.
Yeah.
It's good. We don't get Triple R. We do get Triple J, and a lot of people don't listen to it. So people tend to listen to CDs and get switched on to stuff by other people, and yeah, it is a bit different. And like a band that not necessarily very big in Melbourne can be quite big here, or you know, or not so in Melbourne, so the Tooth Fairies from Brizzy, you know, they were huge here before anyone had a bar of them anywhere else sort of thing. So you know, there is that aspect to it. We do we select the bands we like and stick with them, and you know, that's always been part of the deal. So the Three-Headed Monster tour, it wasn't the Toe, it was a club. Back in the early 90s, that was fantastic. You know, and he had the Modern Classics tour with the Sales and the Rycatchers last year. You know, Turnaround Super Ego, the Toad, whatever. You know, bands always do help each other out, and hopefully continue to do so. You know, that's the one thing you can do for each other, and you know, help each other at the shows in town. When you start to pull a crowd, it's good. Yeah, it's one of the best things about coming from here.